Welcome to this introduction to Autodesk Inventor. This is the 3D modeling software that we'll be using throughout our time together in Intro to Engineering Design. So we'll give you a bit of an overview as we work through this. I would suggest you take some notes. Our goal today is to talk about the user interface within Autodesk Inventor, and there are approximately 8 to 10 of these, and I would suggest you take some notes on this. There will be a quiz coming up on this right after you watch the video. So as we make our way around Autodesk Inventor, typically as you get started, you're going to be in a home view, and we'll go through the operation of this later as we get into our next tutorial. Today's goal is to get a little bit familiar with what we call the user interface, how we work around the drawing environment inside of Inventor. So these tools we'll talk about today, the first one at the very top, you'll see a bunch of little tools. There's an eye up there. There's some tools. If you hover over them, it tells you what they are. New, open, save. Again, any one of these you hover over, it'll tell you what they are. This is called the Quick Access Toolbar. Again, the Quick Access Toolbar. This is just quick. Click on these buttons and it'll take you to these next screens. If I want to go here, that gives me a menu like you might see to restore, move, minimize, things like that. If you want to create a new file and so on. So the very top, a bunch of little icons, you click on them, takes you directly to one of these tools, Quick Access Toolbar. Our next one, if I work our way around, this white or light gray space along here has a bunch of different tools. We call that the ribbon. The ribbon has tools that changes with whatever tab we're in. Right now, if I'm pointing to the 3D modeling tab, you see all the tools that are available. If I go to the sketch tab, that changes the kinds of tools we have to work with. The annotate tab, again, changes that. So this big area here is called the ribbon, probably similar to what you've seen inside of menu-driven programs such as Word, Excel, Google Docs, things like that. So that's called our ribbon. Moving around, we take this gray bar between the ribbon and the Quick Access Toolbar. We have another set of menus, and it says File, 3D Model, Sketch, Annotate, Inspect. These are called the tabs. Remember, as I clicked on these, if I click on the 3D Model tab, it changes my ribbon. So these are called our tabs, okay? So we have Quick Access Toolbar, tabs, and ribbon going top to bottom. Working our way down. This whole border on the side here, it's kind of a menu, shows the operations that we've completed when we draw a 3D model. This is called the browser. The browser shows us the work history. Here's the end of it. Here's the last thing we did, the next one we did, the next previous, and it kind of, as you highlight over them, notice how my drawing is changing colors or things are highlighting. It's kind of showing the different elements in there. If I hover on the bottom one, you can tell there's some things that are highlighted in red in my drawing. So that one's called the browser. Moving down, our next one, way at the very bottom, I'm going to close off this little toolbar here, but way at the very bottom, mine says ready right now, but this is called the status bar. Now, if I open up a tool, this little menu right here called the status bar tells me what I'm working with. So if I want to, I'm going to go back and open up a sketch quick just to show you how that changes. And if I want to draw a circle, if I look down here, look at my status bar. I'm in my circle tool right now. It says select the center of the circle. If I want my circle to start right there, watch how that menu changes. If I select the center of my circle now, it says select point on the circle. Okay, so if I select another point, I'm done, and then it says select circle center. I can draw another one, but the status bar is a very helpful tool, helps us to know what our next steps should be. I'm going to undo because I really don't want that on my screen. Moving down, this whole drawing area in the center, and I'm going to move my mouse out a bit, but this whole drawing area in the center is this white space. That's called our graphics window. Right now I'm seeing a 3D model, but if I was to work on a sketch environment, it's like a sheet of paper that we're drawing on. So we call that the graphics window. That's where we draw all of our graphics in, okay? So that's our graphics window. Moving around, we've got this little cube up here, and you can hopefully identify that that looks like an isometric drawing, isometric sketch, if you will. And we've learned about the different views. You can look at that and see it says front, says top, says right side. And that can change what I'm seeing here. Right now I'm in an isometric view. If I want to look at the front of that, click on the word front. It orients my shape so that I can see it in a front view. If I want to click in the top right corner of that, it moves me back to an isometric view. If I want the top view, I click on the word top, and now I can see the top view. I can also hover over that and some arrows pop up. If I want to rotate that cube, turn it that way, see the little arrow, rotates it to the left. Now I can see the right side. Flip the other side, takes me back to the top view, takes me to the left side. I can also rotate. I can rotate that view cube by using these little arrows on the side. That allows me to rotate that so I'm reading left in the correct orientation. And if I get myself kind of goofed up, I can hit the house button. That takes me back to my home view. And inside of Inventor, our home view is defaulted as an isometric view. Making my way one more stop, we have something called the finished sketch. Now, if I go back into one of my sketches, and you'll learn a lot about this as we go, but if you see this big green check mark up here, if I've made a sketch of some sort, let's say I use my circle, and I draw a small circle right here, and I'm done with that, I can just go Finish Sketch, and it turns my sketch tool off. And I've just created a sketch, and won't worry about that for now, but that's how you finish a sketch. So if you need to cruise back around that one more time, the very top, Quick Access Toolbar. These little icons that show us different tools that are accessible just on a one-click option. Go down from that, we have the tabs, things like File, 3D Model, Sketch, Annotate, Inspect, Tools. These would be our tabs. Right below that, this big bar with all of the tools on that changes when we switch between different tabs. This bar that shows all of our tools, that's called the ribbon. The menu on the far left-hand side shows the history of the drawing that we've made. This is called our browser. Down at the very bottom, it says ready right now, but if we start drawing in a tool, remember how we saw the circle. It told us what to do. Find the center, find a point on the circle. That is called our status bar. This whole big white area or gray or whatever that's set up as in your drawing, this big portion of the window, that's called our graphics window. That's where all of our drawing takes place. Our view cube, again, that's where we change how we're going to look at things. That's our view cube. Okay? And finally, if I'm in a sketch, we have this one up here is pretty easy. It even tells you the big green check mark is our finish sketch. So when we're in sketch mode, remember I drew my circle. I can finish my sketch by hitting the green check mark. Finishes my sketch. Now I'm back into an area I can work with my 3D model. So that's a quick tour of the interface for Autodesk Inventor. You should have notes in your notebook. I would suggest you have one page that is set up for Inventor Tech Tips, and then you can record your information there and reference back to that as we're in the beginning stages of learning Inventor. So there's your first tour of Autodesk Inventor and the interface. See you on the next video and we learn how to work with Inventor. See ya.